Hello, everyone. My name is Tim Bryce, and I'm a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Well, today we're going to talk about Gemini Gems. As the title of my presentation, All That Sparkles is Gems. I think gems are a great tool to help speed up your workflow. They help you kind of create a customized version of Gemini. So let's go ahead and get into the presentation here. So, like I said, Gemini Gems are your own personalized AI chatbot. They're Think of them as a customized version of Gemini that's tailored to your preferences. They are super easy to put together, and then once you have them, they will help you do the kind of the repetitive things or things that you find yourself doing over and over again on Gemini. If you've ever used Chat GPT, they're very similar to the GPTs that you can set up on Chat GPT. Now, like I mentioned, Gems will help you streamline your workflow. Uh, what happens in Gemini, and I'll show you this when we get into the demo, is that if you're in the main window and you type in a prompt and you give it your task and your some context and some references, and then you go. If you leave that window, that prompting area, and start a new window, if you want to have a similar conversation, you have to start all over again. You have to tell it again everything because from context window to context window, it doesn't carry it out. In the gems, you provided some information, and that information stays in the gem. So the next time you pull up the gem, it knows what its role is, it knows what its goal is, and things like that. So, like I said, it creates a more personalized experience in Gemini, getting you answers that match what you need at that time because you can have gems that are specifically for certain things like going out and reading your checking your unread email and giving you a list of things to do, or going out and grabbing a doc and summarizing it. If you have the same doc that's maybe updated by a script or something, you can have them kind of analyze information. I mean, whatever you do, any repetitive tasks, maybe if it's from brainstorming, maybe you have social media posts that you need, that you routinely need. You can do that through these gems once you have them all set up. All right, so the makeup of his gem, it's very simple. It just has a title. It has some instructions, and think of the instructions as just a long prompt, or it could be a short prompt. It can be whatever you want. I'll show you a couple of prompts. I have some short ones, I have some long ones. You give it a persona like you're an aviation forecaster assistant or you're a social media person, anything like that. You can give it some personality like knowledgeable or, be positive or have a motivational tone. Specify the format that you want your output in. So, what do you want the gem when you provided the information that you're asking for? What output do you want to be in? And then you can link it to your Google Drive with the @ symbol. In the knowledge section, you can upload files. You can upload PDFs. You see doc.txt, doc files, spreadsheets, CSV files, Excel files. Again, this kind of gives the gem an idea of what you want, maybe examples. You could like upload your SDM and then query it on what happens when the electricity goes out of the office or something like that. So it's a way that you can provide the gem knowledge and that it will be focused on that knowledge. Now, here are some little bits of information. Currently, gems are not shareable. Hopefully, Google will change that. If you all are familiar with Notebook LM, you can share notebooks. We can share documents. We should be able to share gems. I've set up a little repository of gems, but maybe a great place for everybody would be on VLab. I don't know. If you have some ideas for some gems or you want to share your gems, just let me know and I can add them to my repository until we find a weather service repository for gems or until we can share them among ourselves. In the knowledge section that you'll see, you're only limited to 10 files that you can upload. There's probably a limit on the file sizes as well, but I haven't hit that yet. but you are limited to 10 files. So if you want to, like I uploaded all the NWS directives and they're all broken down into different files. I had to combine them all into 2 files so that I could upload them in there. So just keep in mind you can only put in 10 files in that knowledge section. You can link, like I mentioned, to the latest versions of files on your Google Drive with the @Google Drive. All you do is type in @Google Drive and give it a file name, or @Google Docs and give it a file name. That way, if you want to have a document that you can routinely update, the gem will run off and get that. If you upload a file like a PDF from your desktop and you store it in there, then that file is static. So you would need to update it. You would have to delete the old one and update the new one if you wanted to do that. There are token limits in the gems, but I actually haven't really hit them. Because I don't use gems for the heavy thinking, the huge file sizes and things like that. I get in there, I do what I need to do, whether it's reviewing my email, having it write a quick post for me or something like that, and then I get out. They do take a little time to set up, to set these gems up on the front end, but once they're going, then you can just keep coming back to them and coming back to them. You do get some variability in the gem response. It's just like any generative AI. You can give it the exact same prompt and you'll get slight variations in differences in the response that it gives it to you. But it should be generally pretty close. Kind of like 3 or 4 different people all forecasting from the same information will come up with slightly different forecasts. And as far as I can tell, you can't create images inside these gems. I've tried to have it create an image. The research I did poking around on the internet, everyone seems to think that we can't do it. I was never able to create an image, and Gemini was basically told me I can't create an image inside a gem. It doesn't make sense to me. Right now it's just kind of a text in, text out kind of thing. You can share images. You can move a PDF up to it, but it's mainly for text output. So just keep that in mind. I have a feeling someday soon they'll probably change that so you can create an image, because that just doesn't make sense. It would be great to have a gem where you could create, I've got a presentation, here's the presentation, create some images for it. But of course there's other ways to do that as well. All right, so let's get down to the live demo. So let me hop out and let me go over here. So of course this is your Gemini workspace. This is your prompting window. On the left hand side you've got this the menu. So you mouse over to the left hand side here and you've got, I pulled up an old prompt, sorry about that. And we'll just go to another one here. So you mouse over here, and up here you've got Explore Gems, and I've got to list a couple of gems. So you see the gem section, you click Explore Gems, and it's going to take you to the Explore Gems section. So this is your gem manager, and you'll see some pre-made gems that are made by Google, and they'll show you 4, Brainstormer, Career Guide, Coding Partner. You can click on More, and they have a few others that people have, that Google has created. But below these, you'll see all of your gems that you've created. You see that I've created several. And we'll go through the process of creating one, but for now, I want to show you. Now, back to these pre-made ones. You can click on it, and it will take you into like the Coding Partner one. And all it is going to take you into here, and you'll see, all right, so now I'm in here with your Coding Partner. It actually gives you some ideas of what you might ask it. But let me go back out here to my Explore Gems. That may not be exactly what you want, but what's neat is that you can actually click on the 3 little dots there and click Make a Copy. And what that'll do is it takes you into the gem interface where you would edit the gem. So now you can see exactly what the instructions that they gave this gem. And you can go through a couple of these to kind of get an idea, what am I supposed to put in here? And you can see they give it a purpose, give it some goals, and things like that. You can give it a name. And remember, a gem is just a name, some instructions, and some knowledge that you want to include. So I'm going to hop out of here. It'll say, are you sure? Are you sure you want to close without saving? Yes. So we'll get back into, or say, does it dump me? No, it puts me back into the gem manager. So you can see, like I have, I'll give a demonstration of a gem real quickly. So if I go in here and start my gem, this is my productivity gem. So all I need to do is come in here, and in the instructions, and I'll show you this here, I gave it, if you see the word email, and it's going to run off, you should see it here in a second. Whoop, that didn't work. Let me try again. And let me see. Okay, so now you see it's run off to the Google Workspace, and it's going to go through some of my unread emails. It's going to give me a list of emails that I haven't read, and you can see based on these different things that I need to take care of. So that one's real helpful. So we're going to go back to my Gem Explorer here, and I'll show you what that reference gem looks like. So I go down here, I'm sorry, my productivity gem. So you see, you come over here and you got the three dots, and under the three dots you can start a new chat, you can make a copy of the gem, or you can delete it. But in this case, we're going to click on the little pencil tool so we can edit it. And remember, a gem is just a name, so I gave it this name, productivity gem. And you can see here's my instructions. It's nothing here, nothing too great here, but I just basically tell it to, when you get email, when you see the word email, you go and read my email and my unread email, and kind of give me a list of things to do. And in this case, I did not have anything knowledge-wise. So let me jump back out here, and let me show you another quick gem here real quickly. Let me edit this one, this reference gem. So what I've done on this gem is that this is a reference, and I've uploaded the WCO agreement, the NWS directives, and my office's El Paso's SDMs, all in here. And then I can type in here a question to get an answer from one of these documents, kind of thing. So that is very helpful when you're trying to figure out where in the NWS directives does it talk about sick leave, or tsunami, like I was doing a search for tsunami earlier. So these gems are really helpful. You can, like I said, I have them set up for doing aviation. So here's the aviation one that I have for us. And what I do is I provide it current weather information, and then I say you are an aviation forecaster assistant. I tell it, to some key principles. And you see, this one's rather lengthy. I told it the TAF sites that we have, METARs. I told it where it can get some weather information, but I usually provide the weather information to it. I told it the surrounding offices. So you can see that this one is kind of extensive. So I said, give me aviation briefings when I provide, TAF summaries, PIREPs, all this information. So you can see that this one is actually quite a lengthy instruction. You can see also that I've given it the NWS directives on aviation services, and some of our own El Paso SDM information down in the knowledge section. So now, if I give it some information, I can then prompt it. What I usually do is I have a script that goes out and gets all the local weather information, and then I add it to that. I add that file to my prompt. You can, let me go back out here, and let me go in here, because that's the testing section in there. But if I go in here, and it comes in here, and now I can say, hey, give me a preliminary 0Z TAF discussion. And then I would also include either I would upload a PDF file that I can create, or I would just link to it so that it could gather that information. So and then that's something that I do on a daily basis when I'm forecasting. So let's see how you create one of these gems. So let me go back here. Let me explore gems. And let me create a new gem. So we're going to create something that I have to do, we all have to do on a regular basis, is social media. So social media guru. And the instructions I'm going to give it, I've already got typed up here. So let me grab them real quick. But basically, I'm going to tell it you are a social media specialist for the National Weather Service. Your job is to provide a variety of social media posts to Facebook, X, and Instagram when you are given specific weather information. Please format the post correctly for each platform and include any pertinent hashtags. use the files in the knowledge, which I'll show you guys, I'm going to upload here in just a minute, to format the posts and compare with previous posts our office has made. For each platform, for each platform, I got a little typo. For each platform, glad I caught that. For each platform, produce 2 posts that are in a tone of business friendly and 1 post that is more lighthearted. And then I always tag things that do not make up information, because if you've seen my other videos, you understand that sometimes these LLMs, these generative AIs, they tend to hallucinate, and you need to just be aware of that. So it helps when you say don't make up information. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some files that are basically, I found on the internet, I found beginner's guide to Instagram, kind of a Facebook file, and basically a post to how to post to Twitter or X. And then also I gave it some examples of the files that we have, and I'm gonna get these all loaded up here in just a second here. So okay, so now it's uploading these files. So I've got these files here, and I don't think you guys could see the files as I was clicking on them. So I'm sorry, I was talking when I was on another screen. But basically, it's a beginner's guide to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and then some posts that show what the El Paso office recent posts on those platforms looks like. And then I could either save it and then start it, or what's neat is that you can test it. So you give it some information here, then you can type in a prompt and see the response you get. If you don't like the response right away, you can then go right into your instructions and adjust them. So we'll just do a test prompt here. So I'll say, for the past 5 days, it has been raining off and on, and now it looks like there will be a good chance for rain tomorrow. There will be a potential for flash flooding in both the mountains and the lowlands. So I've given it a weather scenario that you might have during our monsoon season. This is pretty common. So now I'm going to hit go, and it's going to look at that. It's going to look over the files. It's going to look over its instructions, and it should provide me with posts for Facebook, posts for, so here it is, business-friendly post. It gives me, like I said, doesn't create images, but it does kind of tell me what I should show as a graphic showing the potential for flash flooding. Heads up, after several days of off and on rain, we're expecting more widespread activity tomorrow with the ground already saturated. There are potential for flash flooding in both the mountain and the lowlands. Please stay weather aware and have a way to receive warnings. So that was one post. Here's another one for Facebook. You wouldn't want a lighthearted one, but it did produce one because I asked it to. Well, it looks like the ducks will be happy tomorrow. We've had plenty off and off rain for the past 5 days, and it seems tomorrow will be no different with more rain in the forecast. So you can see it gave me 2 kind of serious ones, and it gave me 1 friendly one. Same thing for Twitter with more rain in the forecast tomorrow. There's a risk of flash flooding. Saturated shores will increase runoff. And you see it gives me the hashtags there. And then same thing for Instagram. And I do like that it was smart enough to know that on Instagram you can go hashtag crazy. So it gave us a lot more hashtags there for Instagram than you would for Twitter or even Facebook. So that's a great, and it gives you the caption, kind of gives you an idea for a photo. So you can see, I'm going to go ahead and save that because I like that. So now you can go ahead and say it's saved, and you can go ahead and you can start right into it. So now anytime I need a post, I just need to come in here and provide the social media guru with kind of the weather situation I need the post for, and it's going to give me 3 different posts for 3 for Instagram, 3 for Facebook, and 3 for X. Almost said Twitter. So you can see how helpful it takes time to kind of, you look at a map you have, kind of, well, how can I come up with a post for this? So you can see that this is, a great way to kind of streamline this flow. And of course, you can take those posts and you don't have to take them verbatim. You can take them, help it kind of maybe spark an idea for you, and then you go, oh yeah, I can see where it's going, and you can go with that. You can take that and kind of go off in that direction. So, like I said, it's a great opportunity. I do want to show you, I think, a few other things here. When you do mouse over here, let me go back to our main chat area. Now remember, anytime you click on this, if you're doing a lot of posts, like if I'm here, I've been doing a lot of work, then I've told it a lot of things. I've set the scene, and it's remembering things as we're going along. But as soon as I click on new chat, boom, all of that is gone. So if I want to have a similar conversation with Gemini, I have to give it the same task again. I have to give it the same context, same references, and things like that. Whereas over here in these gems, it's already pre-programmed for me. So you can see the social media one I just created is here at the top. And so you can go in here and it's already ready to go. So these gems are a way to kind of streamline your workflow if you're doing things over and over again on a regular basis. They are there to help you. It's like I said, it's like a customized version of Gemini. It references those documents, so you don't always have to keep uploading them. They're always there. So it's a great tool to kind of streamline your workflow for those repetitive actions. So that's Gems. I really like them. As you saw, I've created a whole bunch of them. Anything from helping me write social media posts. I have one set up that reviews my AFD, so I can go in there. I dump the AFD in there, and it will kind of critique it. Was it written well? Does it make sense? Does it flow well? It kind of critiques it like that. I have different forecaster assistants. I can provide it information on the current weather conditions, and it can write a preliminary aviation discussion, something like that. These are just things that I'm playing with. There are lots and lots of different things you can do with gems, lots of opportunities, and you just need to get out there and start playing with them. And I hope that what I've showed you today will inspire you and kind of help you get started on creating your own gems. So thanks for joining me, and have a great day.